Alright, I haven't made a video in a long time, a couple of years, and haven't gotten any better at it. I do have a better camera than I used to have, and I have a few more toys than I used to have, so I'm just going to show you those real quick. Mainly just, related to cache hunting and protecting old houses. I don't really like to hunt parks too much, they just don't interest me. So I'm just going to show you some of the gear that I have. Some of it's been modified. Maybe it'll help you, give you some ideas, something you can use. I don't know. So see if we can do this pretty easily and not too shaky here. In the white tube, those are topo maps, and you're going to want those if you're going cache hunting in in the woods, wherever you go really. If you're going in the woods, a topo map is a cheap thing to have. It'll tell you what to expect when you get there, and it might help you find an old cave. It may not be marked on there, but the terrain may give you some ideas. The little Ace 150 cut down, I use that because I can throw it in a backpack when I'm hunting pigs or deer. It's just easy to carry that way. I also added a volume control, so it's not booming out every time I turn it on or find a target. It's easy to change it over to the regular rod. I can do the same modification with the the AT. I could use that same rod if I wanted to, but whatever. The AT speaks for itself. Not to piss any Mine Lab owners off, but I had an Xterra 705 before I had this AT, and I still say the AT is the better detector for me. I found a lot more in places that I really pounded with that Mine Lab. And I think it just comes down to response time and the ability to sniff out targets amongst iron where the AT shines. Of course, it's waterproof. That's another feature that I have made good use of, and what can you say there? Not many that can compete, and especially not in that price range. You may also see down here I've got my Gerber E-tool. I really recommend that. Get them on eBay pretty cheap. They're a lot better than the quote Vietnam era unquote shovels that you'll find out there. Most of those are some sort of copy. They're probably made out of aluminum, and they're going to fail on you when you want them the most. So spend a few bucks more. It's not even that much more, and get the Gerber. Also down here I've got a couple of Right in the Rain products. The little small notebook I carry just about everywhere when I'm detecting old places, because there's always something I want to remember later. And then in that binder there, that's where I have some actual notes related to some caches that I've been working on for a couple of years, and they're field notes. They're notes on treasure signs and symbols that maybe I've read in different books and don't want to carry the books with me, so just transpose them there, and good to go. Little Maxpedition Pygmy Falcon pack. I love this little pack. I've got several backpacks. I'm a gear junkie and a backpack junkie, so I've got packs that will do lots of things, but this pack is the one that gets the most use. I can stuff this thing to the gills, probably 20 pounds worth of stuff, and even though it doesn't have a waist belt, it's still really comfortable. Can't really say enough about it. It looks new, I'm sure you can tell, but it's been through the ringer. What can I say? It's just tough, and so I just throw various junk in there. On just about every adventure I go on, that pack goes with me. So then I have this is the old Garrett pouch. I've got a new camo one. Nothing much to say about the Garrett pouch really. I mean, it's a good pouch. I put it on a dive belt because that way I can slide the pouch around, and the belt doesn't tend to get all compressed and just turn into, I don't know, mush on you. So I'm going to modify the new camouflage pouch so that it will slide around too, because it has its own belt built in and I don't like it. So I like to modify stuff. Leshy digging tool, or however you pronounce that. I didn't really like the serrations on mine. Not that I didn't like them being there, I just didn't like what side they were on. So grinder and a metal cutoff wheel, and you too can have serrations a go-go on your digging tool. I made this sheath for my digging tool out of PVC, and I like it a lot better. You know, it's open. There you go. So when there's mud on your digging tool, you know, it'll just fall right out once it dries. But the other thing is since it's PVC, you know, it doesn't tend to grip the tool. So you've got junk on it and you go to put it in, and you know, in the cloth sheath, even though it had a little plastic liner, I mean, it was just a big pain getting stuck in there and just not being smooth. And little things like that tend to set me off, so I just changed the situation. This is the standard Pro Pointer pouch. I got kind of worn out with taking my belt off and then, you know, maybe swinging it around to put it in the back of the truck or something, and then my Pro Pointer goes flying out. So, and you know, the sheath has been used a lot, so you know that happens, and I could cram it down in there real tight, but inevitably I'm going to hit the end of it and it's going to pop it, you know, up, and then it's loose. So anyway, Velcro strap, a few minutes with a heavy gauge sewing needle, and now that's not going anywhere. So this little magnifying glass I carry with me because my eyes are getting, I mean, I'm 49, so you know, what can you say? My eyes aren't what they used to be. So this helps. I guess if you had to, you could start a fire with that. I carry plenty of things for starting a fire, but hey, now I have one more thing. Let's see here. The shadows are not our friend. Magnet for dropping down wells. I never pulled anything good out of a well, but maybe next time I go to this particular well, I'll pull my old magnet out using this one. As long as we're talking about magnets, this one is on an extendable shaft. This comes from Home Depot, just for cleaning up your job site or whatever, nails, screws, what have you. Great for old houses, because I don't care what detector you swing, if you get in where there's an old porch or something and everything's, you know, rotting and falling down, there's going to be 10 zillion nails in that dirt. So I'll take a garden rake, rake it up, run that magnet through there, get rid of as many nails as I can. And the good thing, you know, again, a plug for the AT Pro, is it'll sniff out good targets amongst iron. But anything you can do to reduce the iron is always going to be a plus, no matter what detector you have. Machetes, I have a little gun show special, El Cheapo, works pretty good and small and light. And then I have a military machete with a aftermarket cheap junk sheath that I modified. 38D relic shovel, that's the model. That's not a reference to how much I like the tool, but it does work really well, and I've abused it, and you know, it holds up, so not much drama there. A little Home Depot pick. One of these days I want to go prospecting, but I use that for lots of different things, and I have a landscaping business, so you know, it comes in handy even for that. Gloves speak for themselves. Alright, this little jewel right here, some of y'all may not have seen one of these before, but it's a dip needle. It's basically nothing more than a compass with a mirror in it, and you can see that it has a north and south orientation. So you can look through the window here, and you see the needle is not right because we're not pointed the right way. But the way this works is you use this strap. You would hold this down on the ground. I've got it backwards, so we'll turn it around. But anyway, you might be able to see the needle in there. And then this isn't going to be precise, but just for the purpose of showing you this, when you go over something like this shovel right here, the needle is going to move. It's a ferrous object, therefore it's reacting with the Earth's magnetic field. So the compass is the same sort of a thing. It's just the magnetized needle. It's reacting with the Earth's magnetic field. So when you get it down low like that, anything ferrous, like buried cash, you know, a couple feet down, something like that, you know, an iron chest full of gold, whatever, that needle's going to move. And that's kind of a I don't know if I'd say little known, but I've never run into anybody else that's using that. I got the idea from Okie Treasure Hunter, and it's so far seems to be a pretty good little tool. I found a few pipes and things like that. I knew they were there, but I wanted to see how it would work, and it does work. Snake chaps, again, not much to be said about those. And the rain poncho that this is all sitting on, that and a roll of mason line has been a godsend in places where you get out and all of a sudden here comes a rainstorm you didn't expect. You can either wear the poncho or you can tie it up in a couple of trees and have a little shelter to sit under until everything passes. I've used it both ways. It works good.